This is Papi, and this is Dragon Quest Papi. Okay, top 5 fights in the Destiny arc of Dragon Quest, the Adventure of Dai. These fights were freaking amazing. This arc especially, I think, has some of my favorite fights in the series in general. The quality of the fights have definitely improved quite a bit compared to a lot of other fights. I think it was on purpose because this is a big turning point in the anime. You know, Dai finally discovers who he is, and he has to fight between who he was born to be and who he was trained to be by his master Avan. Sorry, my eye's kind of itchy. So, the top 5 fights in the Destiny arc are the following. Number 5, for me personally, I absolutely loved it when Pop went to take on the Dragon Riders. He literally shows up. He just freaking does a hella freaking awesome spell. It looks like he might have done some damage, right? But unfortunately, Galdandi and Rudd got away. They slapped the crap out of him. And after that, Pop basically takes on the Dragon Riders. Baran leaves and he holds them back. At first, they basically were just toying with him. But eventually, Pop basically just used his brains and messed up freaking Galdandi. It was with help from Hugo. Let's say that. But he still was able to do some damage, quite a bit of damage, to the point where he beats Galdandi, he beats his dragon, and he basically impresses the other ones. So it was really cool. But yeah, I really enjoyed that fight. I think it was really cool. I think it was a really big and deep character building moment for Pop especially. There were some cool things that he did in that fight. So anyways, that's the number 5. Let's move on to number 4, which is Hugo versus the Dragon Riders. Hugo held nothing back. Borehorn started talking crap, and Hugo just literally breaks his teeth out, which was so damn cool, and nobody saw it coming, and it was quick. Borehorn after that tries, to face Hugo, thinks he does well against him or beats him, but Hugo dons on the dark armor blade and just obliterates Borehorn. After that, he fights Larhart. This fight was dope. Larhart had the upper hand for a while, but after Hugo heard Baran's story, he regained his drive and his purpose, and a new purpose to try and convince Baran that he's on the wrong path and that he went down the same path, but he needs to get back on the right one. And the fight with Larhart was so damn cool, so epic. It just showed, it was basically a man's fight, dude. It was basically like freaking Frankie and Senor Pink from One Piece, dude, where they literally just would punch each other until one of them fell. That was a manly fight, if ever there was not one, or it was one. That was the manliest fight, and this one was equally as manly. It was just so cool. After that, we know what happens. Larhart gets killed by Hugo, but in a cool freaking way. Let's move on to the next fight. So that was fight number 4. Fight number 3 is... Okay, this fight was kind of a short one, and it was kind of quick, but I thought it was so cool. Dai and Matoriv versus Hadler and Zybora. So again, this wasn't necessarily a fight per se, compared to like showing off who has the stronger spells. But basically, Zybora totally took advantage of a really good opportunity and was about to beat all the heroes, literally. Pop was literally about to die, and then the rest of the heroes were next. And before Zybora ended Pop, Matoriv shows up, burns Zybora's hand, and him and Hadler get into freaking spell fight, which was dope. It was basically like Dumbledore versus freaking Voldemort, and it was epic. Fortunately, Matoriv was winning, but Hadler had Zybora join him, which gave him an advantage, obviously, 2 against 1, and Matoriv was losing, unfortunately. And right at that moment, Pop, with his psychic powers, yelled out to Dai, and Dai woke up, and he made it right on time. He literally just held on to the Sizzle and Kassiz spell from Hadler and Zybora and basically reflected it with his own, and it was like 2 freaking times stronger than theirs, and it was so damn epic and cool, and he literally just destroyed them. But yeah, that was fight number 3. That was so freaking cool and epic. I like it mostly because of just a cool spotlight moment from Matoriv. He just kind of shows up out of nowhere, and just, he would have won, you know, if it wasn't 2 against 1, but it was just cool to see Matoriv in action. So that was number 3. Number 2 is Baran versus Crocodile and the Heroes, part 1. Basically, Baran destroyed the freaking, where the dragon crystal was at, and they all join forces and fight against Baran, and Baran just completely overpowers all of them. He absolutely just destroyed Dai with a Giga Break. He did not hold back. Pop tries to hold him back as well. That didn't work. And then Crocodile tries to fight back. And honestly, it was so cool. It was a cool attempt by Crocodile, but Baran destroyed him, dude. He did not even hold back. He didn't even use his sword, and it was so damn cool, like, just the way he fought. And so, anyways, that fight was so freaking cool, dude. I really, really enjoyed that fight. It was epic. The way that it ended was kind of lame, to be honest. You know, but I'm using his like psychic blast to win. I thought that was kind of lame, but whatever. You know, he's got to do what he's got to do. So let's move on. So that was number 2. Let's move on to number 1. Number 1 is very, very easy. I'm pretty sure everyone saw this coming. Dai versus Dragonoid Baran. So at this point, Baran basically was just in disbelief, 100%. Because Dai moved his dragon crest from his forehead, where Baran could control him. You know, he was able to move his crest from his forehead to his hand, using the human heart powers, basically. And because of that, they just had an extremely epic freaking fight, dude. I mean, there was a little bit of moments here and there where Dai got some help because he needed it, 100%. Like, Baran's equipment compared to Dai at this point was like mid-tier equipment using against an endgame boss. I mean, yeah. And so he was not ready for it, but he still did an amazing job with a little help from his friends, with, you know, Hugo letting him use his freaking dark armor blade, with Pop creating a perfect opportunity. First of all, weakening Baran with Megante. Second of all, just surprising the crap out of him from the dead and casting, I'm pretty sure it was a Kaboom spell. And then Dai was able to basically get the upper hand at that point and beat his father, which was so freaking epic. It was such an amazing fight, dude. Absolutely enjoyed that. So that is my number 1 from my top 5 favorite fights of the Destiny arc from Dragon Quest Dai. Let me know what you guys think. What do you think about my list? And what about your list? Is your list crazy different than mine? Is it about the same? Let me know. And let's talk about it. But anyways, that's it for today's video. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Check out my Patreon if you're interested. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace!